Hey guys, you're seeing headlines everywhere. The government has shut down. It's unfortunate that our politicians couldn't come together to help us keep the government moving forward in a positive direction. But I wanted to share, what this government shutdown means to real estate and what are some things that you might can do and want you to keep in a positive light. I'm Candace Thompson, your local realtor, and my mission is to help people build wealth through real estate. In this video, I am going to discuss the government breakdown, how it affects mortgages, closings, buyer confidence, and what that means for you if you're planning to buy, if you're planning to sell a home right now. By the end, you'll know exactly what to watch for and what you can do. So I'm just going to go over a lot of different things that housing deals with that affect real estate. Um, the Environmental Protection Agency, I want to start there. So, by Congress failing to approve a budget to move forward and fund government operations, there are a lot of people, unfortunately, that are being furloughed or that are may end up losing their jobs for short term or indefinitely due to what these partial cuts will be or permanent cuts. And we hope that today they're going to get some resolution, but you know, in that regards, we're here to help educate everybody out there. So, the Environmental Protection Agency under this current administration will be shut down. Most employees are going to be furloughed. This will affect various regulatory and compliance activities dealing with your wetlands determinations, in that regard. So, if you are buying a property that is in an area with the enforcement of, like, let's say, lead-based paint, renovations, repair, painting programs, or anything like that, and you needed to reach out to the EPA, you will have to do that at a later time. HUD programs encompass a lot of different programs with underneath its umbrella. HUD's contingency plan is to keep many housing programs alive. So they are going to keep endorsing their FHA loans. They're going to work with a reduced capacity. Others will face disruption in this industry, but as far as they're going to do and keep moving forward to endorse the single family homes, with the exception of, certain types of home equity conversion mortgages, and that type of thing. But they are going to keep moving forward. So that's a good news. So if you are in the process of buying a property and you are doing a FHA loan, you should be able to move forward. You may have some delays. And if you do have delays, that just needs to be communicated and agreed upon between all parties involved. So the seller and the buyer communicating those delays and, the issues there. The housing choice voucher holders can expect assistance, payments to continue under this plan for the existing obligations, but any additional funding request approvals, those will be delayed. Any new vouchers may possibly be issued, but again, any extended shutdowns will create chaos and risk to cash flow problems for the government and keeping public housing authorities and keeping that money flowing. So what does that mean? If you're a landlord like myself, I am a landlord, and if you're a landlord and you receive public housing vouchers for people that are receiving these funds, it's also known as Section 8 in some cities. I know a lot of towns have decided to rename the program to different things, but if basically it's known also as Section 8. So if you are receiving these funds, some landlords and tenants alike are urged to check with their local public housing authorities for any latest status, that if there's going to be any break in any payments received. Today is October 1st. It's the start of the first quarter, but it's also the first of the month. So depending on the dates that those payments would normally arrive to those landlords, um, they may be affected. due to this government shutdown. Some other things that, during previous shutdowns, we had the Fannie Mae and Fannie Mac. They were able to continue their normal processing. So if you were doing a conventional loan and not one of the government-backed loans, you were able to potentially move forward. However, if you needed verification for certain things and you were a government employee, and you were buying a property right now, you may be in a situation where you're dealing with limited staff, so this information isn't able to get to the lender in a timely fashion. Tax transcripts coming from the IRS. Freddie Mac requires all borrowers to sign a 4506T. That's a tax transcript where they can look up so many previous years. Usually it's about goes back about 3 years that they can look at. Tax transcripts, or they may even have you put the upcoming year if they wanted to be able to look at a future year. In that regards, if they ever audited that particular loan file, um, you know, at some point in the future. If the IRS is suspended, issuance of this document and getting those transcripts will be delayed. So that can affect lending, in that regards. Verification of Social Security numbers. So the Social Security Administration will be working with a limited staff. So if this staff if the government continues with the shutdown, then the staff could be furloughed, and that will end up causing, issues again with you being able to close on your home, in that regards. Proof of flood insurance. So um, here in the Carolinas, we have lots of storms that come. We're approaching what I call hurricane season, where we get more violent storms during this fall season as we're approaching into the fall season. So the longer that we stay shut down, those homeowners who have a need to get flood insurance, you may not be able to get that because they may be working on a very limited staff and again and being furloughed, and you won't be able to have that premium that will give you the protection that you need for your investment. Let's talk about the IRS. Now, while the IRS has not specifically stated anything about a contingency plan in the past, shutdowns, the agency has continued to remain strong and on the job during the shutdown. So like in 2018 closures, they work with roughly 12% of employees. So we already know how hard it is to get in touch with the IRS. How long I know I've been on hold with the IRS in the past, more than, gosh, I know one time I was on hold, it was almost 2 hours. So it was very unfortunate. And then total conversation on being on hold and talking to an actual representative after I was transferred a number of times. That went on for about 3 hours. So you can expect long delays, in that regards. For those people who are able to continue to work, they're going to probably be working on a very limited staff. Going back to the National Flood Insurance Program, also known as the NFIP, during the lapse of this, they will not sell any new or renew any flood policy. So if you are in the process that you currently own a property and you're in a flood zone and you need to get new insurance, it will not be, or you need to renew your insurance, it will not be renewed at the time. So in the event that one of these storms come through during this hurricane season, unfortunately, you will be on your own, and that's very unfortunate. For our rural housing programs, USDA will not issue any new direct or guaranteed loans during the shutdown. So any pending commitments, those will be reviewed, but they will not issue any new loan commitments. And again, you may be delayed, or your closing may not happen, and you just have to wait until the USDA comes back with the government going back to work and no longer in a shutdown. The Veteran Affairs. Let's talk about our veterans. Thank you so much to everybody who has served our country, everybody who has decided that they were willing to lay their lives down on the line. We salute and we thank you for your service. The Veterans Administration will continue to guarantee your loans. That's a commitment that they have made. They will work through a government shutdown, and the lenders may keep processing those applications. However, some veteran staff and support functions may be significantly reduced, so you should expect delays. The delays may slow down your appraisals, your certificate of eligibility request, and any other VA services that you may need or are seeking during your time where you're looking for a new loan or if you're looking to refinance with the VA during the shutdown. The Small Business Administration is going to be during the shutdown, will not process any new loans or approve any routine small business loans, during this time. So that office will cease operations, unfortunately. And if you are someone who is able to utilize the visa program EB-5 or the H-2B, this is the current operation is funded and authorized to keep working through 2027. So the application times may be delayed because they will probably have to work with a shortage of staff members, and there may be some additional delays, but they will still be able to process and move forward, with their application. So the long of the short of it is that the shutdown is not beneficial to our government and for our country. We need to move forward and get ourselves a budget that works so that we can continue on with life as we see fit. You know, as we are helping people buy and sell real estate, every home that we sell, we usually are putting 19 plus people to work. And that's anything from your attorneys, your appraisals, Home Depot, Lowe's, places like that, contractors, HVAC people, plumbers, electrician, you name it. There's so many people who benefit from real estate moving. I've always said that real estate helps keep the world ticking and going round and round. So we definitely want, from our sector, the government to get back to work. And we would like for the politicians to come together and put together a budget that can work, fix the things that are broken, and be willing to compromise. As adults, we sometimes have to make compromises, and these are things that you need to do to move forward. So again, I am Candace Thompson, your local realtor. I'm here to help you stay educated, empowered to make the right move within real estate. If you have any questions directly, please connect. My information will be listed below. I would love for you to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends, family, and your coworkers. Our YouTube channel is just starting, but we're growing and we're excited about it. So you can find us on YouTube at Live Move Charlotte. Thank you.